cheating wife begged me to take her back after opening our marriage, but I got epic revenge, not revenge, but consequences. My palm split like wet paper when the saw kicked back and bit deep. Drops stained the cedar boards I was cutting for Henderson's pergola dark red. I kept working with an old shop cloth on my hand. Pain was part of doing business. Mrs. Henderson texted again, buzzing my phone against the workbench. Canceling projects due of speedier internet competitor. After 15 years making custom decks in Charlotte, every soccer mom with a smartphone thought she could do better. I calculated how much I'd lost on materials as I looked at the half-finished pergola parts. The bandage on my hand was saturated. Dad, what's up? Lucas, my son, called from the garage. He was 9, clever like his mother before she became bored with non-image related things. Just a scratch, buddy. Tell Mom I'm coming for dinner in 20 minutes. Lucas retreated home. The kitchen window showed Amelia pacing while talking on her phone, gesturing frantically like she often did while talking to her precious mother group, the group that had consumed her for 6 months. I washed up and went inside. Standing beside the sink, Amelia was on her phone. Victoria, I think the spa vacation is perfect for my mental health, she added, twirling her freshly highlighted hair. Some women need greater self-care. After hanging up, she smiled at me like she'd practiced for Instagram. Daniel, honey, I'm traveling this weekend. Girls retreat at the new Asheville spot. Victoria planned everything for the moms. I nodded, tightening my cut hand. When you leave, I'll return Sunday night tomorrow morning. Female empowerment and self-discovery are key. She gently stroked my arm. You comprehend? I feel confined lately. I listened to her pack in bed that night. Lingerie for female empowerment, designer clothes for a mental health retreat, high heels for hiking. The math didn't make up, but I'd learned to ignore Amelia's discrepancies. She kissed my cheek and left Saturday morning in her white SUV, promising to text updates. I spent the day teaching Lucas how sand scrap wood. Like me, he had steady hands. She returned Sunday night radiant and invigorated. When I hugged her, the SUV smelled bad, not like mountain air, spa treatments, or unfamiliar hotel soap and fragrance. Amelia was feverishly absorbed by mommies. Victoria and her suburban queens started and concluded every talk. Weekly breakfasts at expensive cafes, shopping for matching sportswear, and weekend vacations every other month. Amelia scrolled through her phone over breakfast and said, Victoria says we need to invest in ourselves. She's hosting a $50 wellness lecture next weekend. I buttered Lucas's toast and said nothing. $50, $100. The credit card statements chronicled Amelia's self-discovery. On Tuesday, while Lucas played Xbox, I organized our finances. My email was full of credit card notifications. Grocery stores, gas stations, Lucas's school supplies were typical. I observed $347.89 PayPal payment to Blue Ridge Luxury Suites. Thanks for last night, EXO. Cold hands. I clicked the link and visited a boutique hotel's website. Romantic trips, champagne, and rose petals. Amelia returned from lunch with the girls to find me in the kitchen. How was Victoria today? I asked casually. Victoria is always giving life advice. She grabbed a refrigerated water bottle. It's time for another retreat next month. Somewhere spectacular. She saw my phone screen. This special? Her face turned white, then red. That was for everyone. The group split a luxury suite on our last retreat. Make it special. For $347 each? Why are you questioning me, Daniel? Her voice rose as when she scrambled. I can spend money on myself. How hard is it to be a stay-at-home mom? Sometimes I feel invisible. I closed my phone after screenshotting the PayPal notification. Understanding math is my goal. I named my phone folder receipts that night. Amelia's SUV dash cam installation takes 5 minutes. With modern technology, monitoring is almost laughably easy. Simply a GPS tracker that uploaded positions to my phone app. She never spotted the little device under the dashboard. I considered me paranoid. Everything could have an innocent explanation. Victoria's this party may have spent $300 a night on luxury suites for female bonding. Paranoia and preparation resembled each other. Amelia announced another retreat weekend Friday morning. Victoria found this amazing. Secluded venue. Don't worry if I don't answer. I probably won't have mobile service. Where exactly? A surprising place, part of detaching from daily life. She kissed Lucas goodbye and took her overnight bag. See you Sunday night. My phone app showed her driving across town. Not to Asheville or the mountains, but to a familiar Charlotte neighborhood. GPS stopped at 412 Elm Street. Marcus's dentist office. Victoria's spouse Marcus. He smiled too much at neighborhood barbecues and always hung out with other men's spouses. Ryan, my coworker, observed things without being asked. Former military, 10 years in prison for aggravated assault, and loyal as a dog once he determined you were worth it. He accepted Marcus's address and $200 cash without inquiries. I wanted to know who she's actually seeing. Ryan nods. You want this detailed? Pictures, times, license plates, whatever you can acquire without arrest. Presented a manila envelope Sunday night. Daniel, your wife's not at women's retreat. Photos confirmed what my intuition knew. Amelia and Marcus entered the Blue Ridge Luxury Suites at 2:47 p.m. Saturday, Marcus carrying her bag. They kissed in the hotel parking lot around 11:23 a.m. Sunday before she drove home. Marcus's hand was on her ass as they approached the motel in the last snap. Observing my marriage's demise from my truck outside Lucas's soccer practice. While other fathers talked about lawn care and weekend plans, my world fell apart in HD color photos. I noticed something essential when Lucas got in the truck after practice, sweaty and cheerful. Not about me anymore. It was about him keeping his life stable as everything else fell. Dad, you okay? You look odd. Just weary, pal. Return home. Planning began that night. Victoria loves the spotlight. She hosted block parties, school fundraisers, and treated the area like her castle. Every family with children felt bound to attend her Beach Creek Park summer family picnic. Amelia enthused throughout breakfast about how exciting it would be. Victoria booked a large tent with a projector for outdoor movies. Every kid will enjoy it. I drank coffee and watched her practice enthusiasm. Sounds good. What time should we arrive? She twisted her wedding ring, a new nervous habit. Victoria thought it would be wonderful to include moms and kids. How do dads always talk about sports and ignore everyone else? I carefully buttered my toes. I'm not invited to the family picnic. Victoria doesn't exclude you, but she thinks the group works better with moms and kids. More personal parenting and relationship discussions. Lucas glanced up from his breakfast. At least let Dad watch the movie. Amelia's smile appeared glued. We'll see, honey. I prepared myself that week. Requested a favor from my friend Jason, a business event audio-visual technician. Used borrowed equipment to copy everything in my receipts folder by date and time. Amelia showed remarkable tenderness the night before the picnic. She made my favorite dinner, opened a bottle of wine, and watched TV with me on the couch. With her head on my shoulder, she said, I love you. I've been absent, but I love our family. I kissed her head and smelled her nice shampoo. I adore you too. Lies are sometimes easier than truth. Saturday morning, she carefully put on a new sundress that probably cost more than my truck payment. Lucas had a backpack full of toys and his favorite Pokemon shirt. As she checked her cosmetics in the hallway mirror, she inquired, Are you okay with remaining home? You two have fun? I have stuff to catch up on. I loaded Jason's borrowed gear onto my truck after watching him drive away. When I arrived at 3, Beach Creek Park was full of families. Kids rushed between picnic tables while mothers formed their well-planned social groups. The pavilion had summer fun for Charlotte families, balloons and banners. Victoria acted as a traffic cop at a 4-way intersection near the projector. She saw me immediately. I thought Daniel wouldn't arrive. Her grin was automatic, but her eyes calculated. I changed my mind to let Lucas enjoy the movie. Amelia was spreading a blanket at the pavilion's front. Lucas was already sprinting with other youngsters, backpack forgotten. She appeared shocked but not upset to see me. As I held Jason's professional HDMI switcher, I mentioned I brought some projector equipment. This ancient configuration may have poor connection quality. After hearing, Victoria virtually bounced. Oh, great. Marcus just said the projection was hazy. You know his obsession with perfection. Marcus' polo shirt and khakis looked like suburban infidelity uniforms. Summoning him. Daniel, surprised to see you. He confidently smacked my shoulder like he was invincible. I said, I'll help with the technical stuff, shaking his hand that I brought better wires. While they discussed screen resolution and sound quality, I connected my equipment to their projector. Jason's switcher makes switching inputs easy to as the afternoon sun set. Families gathered. Victoria demanded attention. Everyone gather. Before we start the movie, Curie, I want to talk about our beautiful family community. Parents rested on blankets as kids waited. Lucas leaned on Amelia's shoulder to return to our blanket. Weeks of planning led to this moment. Victoria said, we've built something remarkable. We can trust, support, and raise our children honestly and lovingly. Here, I launched my slideshow on my phone and clicked link to the switcher. Victoria added that families are formed on trust, on understanding that individuals are who they say they are. The projector screen flickered as my phone connected. Parents whispered, believing it was a glitch. When trust is shattered, Victoria added, everyone suffers, especially children. I clicked play. First image on 12-foot screen. Amelia and Marcus kissing in hotel parking lot. Timestamp apparent. Screaming caused kids to cry. Parents covered their kids' eyes as additional photographs cycled. PayPal receipts. GPS tracking data from Amelia's linked iPad. And text message screenshots from Marcus's office on Sunday mornings. Speech died in Victoria's throat. Amelia reached for my phone, but I was holding it high. I asked the crowd to discuss trust. Discuss trust. Marcus stepped at me, ragefully purple. You lunatic, turn that off now. One solid punch to the jaw. He fell like cement moisture. Photos, hotel receipts, and cycling continued in the slideshow. Marcus texts Amelia, can't wait to taste you again. Dad, what's up? Lucas grabbed my shirt. Confused and afraid, I looked down at my son after turning off the projector. Going home, buddy, get your bag. Amelia cried, makeup dripping. You shame yourself. This is ridiculous. Making me look bad? I snatched Lucas's backpack in hand. You did it for me months ago. Victoria kneeled next to Marcus, who was trying to sit up. Other families hurriedly packed in quiet. Victoria's voice rose behind Lucas and me as we approached my truck. Lying whore.in my neighborhood with my hubby. Parents were recording Victoria chasing Amelia across the park with a pool noodle by the time we reached the parking lot. My divorce petition was filed Monday morning. My lawyer, Evelyn, was sharp and specialized in hostile situations. She admired my evidence folder professionally. She clicked over the computer data, saying this is thorough. GPS, financial and photographic evidence. You started documenting when? 6 weeks ago. Good instincts. North Carolina allows no-fault divorce, although infidelity can damage property and alimony. She closed the file. We can freeze joint accounts, secure primary custody, and protect your assets with this documentation. Lucas read a comic book in the waiting area as I signed papers. I saw people walking their kids to school via the office window. Normal families with issues. Amelia lost access to our shared accounts around midday. She received divorce papers at her sister's house about 2 p.m., where she'd slept the night. My phone had 43 missed calls and 87 texts by 4 p.m. I blocked her number and got Lucas up from school. Is Mom mad about yesterday? He asked on the way home. Mom made horrible decisions. Therefore, she's staying elsewhere for now. Getting divorced? He grasped arithmetic at 9. Yes, buddy. His silence lasted several blocks. Will I see her? She's still your mom. Our front door was visited by Amelia that night. I saw her pace on the porch and pound on the door through the security camera I installed the week before. Daniel, we must talk. Totally misunderstood. Called police. They arrived 20 minutes later and warned her about trespassing before escorting her off. Lucas watched the patrol car's red and blue light traverse our yard from his bedroom window. She seemed unhappy, he said. Yes, she did. You still love her? I put him to bed and lit his nightlight. The person I thought she was fake, but I adore her. Marcus retaliated legally. I was accused of stalking and privacy invasion by his lawyer. 4 hours were spent by the district attorney before dismissing the case. Evelyn told the plaintiff over coffee that having an affair in public makes it hard to claim harassment, especially since the plaintiff was in adultery. Marcus's issue was professional, not legal. Medical professionals that engage in extramarital affairs were disfavored by the North Carolina State Board of Dental Examiners. Their ethics committee began investigating my proof bundle within a week. Dr. Marcus was suspended pending a thorough professional conduct inquiry. Ryan contacted me Thursday afternoon, laughing so hard he couldn't speak. He gasped, "Drive by the Ellison house, right now." Marcus was piling suitcases into his BMW in Victoria's driveway while Victoria screamed on the front porch. She used a yard rake to jab him whenever he got too close to the house. She shouted with that plastic which from down the street after 23 years of marriage. Marcus approached the porch again. Swinging the rake, Victoria nearly missed his skull. "Sorry, Victoria, it didn't matter." "Nothing? Nothing?" She javelin-like launched the rake at him. It left a spiderweb crack on his windshield. "Your dental license is worthless. Your name is worthless. Our house is nothing." A gathering of neighbors watched the show that I saw several picnic families with children sneaking under parked automobiles for a closer view. Marcus pointed at me. "This is his fault. He ruined everything." Victoria turned to me, mascara and tears on her face. She might direct her wrath at me, I thought. Instead, she clapped. She murmured good, her voice echoing over the yard. "Daniel, well done. Someone in this neighborhood has balls." Other neighbors clapped. Marcus turned purple as the applause spread. He placed his last bag into the BMW and left the driveway, leaving Victoria's pavement with black tire marks. That night, Lucas and I barbecued burgers in the backyard. He was improving with the spatula, dropping one patty into the fire. He wondered why Mrs. Ellison was mad. Because her husband lied. Lying to someone you love is probably worst. Flipped a burger well. "Is that why you're calm?" "You mean what?" "You look sorrowful, not angry like Mrs. Ellison." I watched him grill with determination, tongue out that I guess shooting pictures and preparing next filled up all my rage. "I'm exhausted and relieved." "Yes, buddy, relieved." Amelia attended Lucas's parent-teacher conference 3 weeks later. I was in Mrs. Lopez's classroom discussing Lucas's reading comprehension. Amelia entered in a new dress, thinner and more needy around the eyes. She cheerfully apologized for being late. "Traffic was awful. Mrs. Lopez peered uncertainly between us. "I wasn't expecting both parents tonight." Amelia said, "We're co-parenting amicably." Sitting next to me for Lucas, I gave Mrs. Lopez a folded document from my jacket. "Current custody order. School decisions must go through me because I have primary custody." A smile fell from Amelia. "That's unnecessary, Daniel." Both Lucas's parents. North Carolina considers me Lucas's primary guardian. You have supervised visitation until the divorce is final. The manuscript was swiftly scanned by Mrs. Lopez. Lucas is excelling in all subjects. His reading is above grade level, and he leads group activities well. I'm glad to hear that. Leaning forward, "Amelia, is he agitated or acting differently?" I understand his quietness due to the family adjustment. Children are amazingly resilient. I rose. "I appreciate your time, Mrs. Lopez." Lucas's teacher is dedicated. Amelia followed me into the hall. "Daniel, we must discuss this. We don't. All communication now goes through lawyers." "This is absurd." I aired. "But I'm not a bad mother." I stopped walking and faced her. "You lied to our son about your weekend plans for 6 months. Our combined credit card paid for hotel rooms with another man. You looked Lucas in the eye and lied about mom retreats and female empowerment while sleeping with your friend's husband." Her tears began. "This wasn't meant to happen." Marcus claimed he was leaving Victoria. "We'd be together." "Now where's Marcus?" Her weeping intensified. "He ignores my calls. He says it's too complicated now that everyone knows." Sneaking around is simpler than committing. Daniel, I lost everything. Friends, reputation, marriage.is that not significant. Moving toward the exit. Its consequences. She tried to start her SUV in the parking lot. Engine turned over but didn't catch. She repeatedly flooded the engine. I drove by her unstopped. Social exile for Amelia was rapid and comprehensive. After the picnic, the neighborhood mommy group disbanded, but members voiced their opinions. She was banned from community Facebook. No one responded to her school event invites. She was ignored by other mothers at the grocery shop. Lucas told me about his mother visits like a war correspondent from a catastrophe zone. After a controlled mall tour, Mom cried throughout the movie and started purchasing me unwanted items, he added. Kind of stuff? She thought buying expensive toys would make me happier. He munched his sandwich. It was odd. Amelia moved into a furnished apartment across town that charged weekly prices and didn't ask many questions. She had maxed out her credit cards, depleted her savings account, and had restricted career prospects due to her scandal becoming local legend. Lucas said she applied for a job at Little Angels Daycare following another visit. However, Mrs. Johnson owns that site and attended the picnic. Did she get hired? Mom stated Mrs. Johnson advised her to hire someone with higher character references. Divorce proceeded mechanically. Evelyn had organized everything to protect Lucas's interests and prevent Amelia from claiming ignorance of our finances. Evelyn said she signed a prenup 15 years ago during one of our meetings. She waived adultery-related alimony. When she visits, she gets her separate accounts and child support. Based on her income, how much child support? About $200/month. Amelia had no income. Meanwhile, my business recovered from the slow period. My predicament circulated, and numerous Charlotte women liked a man who could solve difficulties precisely and strategically. 3 new deck constructions were planned for September. Lucas was adapting better than expected. He received good grades, gained new friends at school, and appeared happy not to have to deal with Amelia's affairs tension in our family. Are you missing her? I asked one evening while building a model airplane with him. This was thoroughly considered. I missed my mom before she cared what others thought. Yes, buddy, I missed them too. Marcus's career collapsed publicly. The dental board placed him on permanent probation and revoked his license for 6 months. He lost a lot of money selling his dental practice portion when it was dissolved. However, his personal life collapsed even worse. Diane, his Virginia-based ex-wife from college, received my whole proof file via anonymous email. She promptly hired a lawyer and sued Marcus for retroactive alimony adjustment, saying he hid assets throughout their divorce. I never confirmed sending the email, but Ryan smiled anytime it was mentioned. Diane prevailed. Marcus was sentenced to pay 15 years of back alimony plus interest, which included everything he'd earned since their divorce. House, funds, and fancy car went to pay the judgment. Marcus received the debt, while Victoria received the house in their divorce. He was a corporate dental hygienist living in a studio apartment near the airport when I last heard. His country club membership was canceled, his BMW was repossessed, and his Charlotte dentistry reputation was radioactive. Amelia had a less dramatic but final predicament. She worked at a South Charlotte health insurance call center for $13 an hour answering customer service complaints. Her furnished apartment was in a development for disaster survivors. Lucas's encounters with her strained as her bitterness deepened. After a tough weekend, she continues asking if I'm mad with her, he said, like she wants me upset to feel better about being sad. You tell her what? I just want her joy back. She may not remember how. The divorce was formalized on October Thursday. Evelyn called to tell me the court had signed the final judgment terminating my 16-year marriage. I felt no relief, grief, or fury, only peaceful contentment from a job well done. Lucas and I built a backyard treehouse that weekend. Amelia stated a treehouse would be an eyesore and lower property values on this corner. Lucas carefully sketched platforms and rope ladders like an architect. Together, we measured lumber, checked levels, and planned each step. He confidently hammered nails, saying this was better than the silly mommy picnic. Yes, indeed. Spring brought warmth and potential. Nearly built, the tree home needed rails and roof. Lucas grew 3 inches over the winter and got calluses from construction work. My business thrived. References led to greater jobs, which led to a reputation for quality and dependability. I hired 2 more workers and bought another truck. Lucas played Little League Baseball and joined the school robotics club as his height increased. So did his confidence, and he held himself with the serene assurance of a boy who'd weathered turmoil and come out stronger. Calls from Amelia had become less regular and routine. Holiday visits were difficult as she tried too hard to reproduce motherly affection that felt fake. Lucas was cordial but detached, treating her like a kind aunt rather than his mother of 9 years. Lucas informed me she invited me to live in her new apartment following a visit in April. A knot formed in my stomach. You said what? I asked where to do my homework. He shrugged. Her one-room apartment has a TV on all the time because the quiet makes her uneasy. I prefer my room here, I told her. Victoria called that week. I hadn't spoken to her since the picnic fiasco, but neighborhood gossip said she had a successful real estate firm and was dating an uptown Charlotte lawyer. She simply murmured, "Daniel, thank you." For what? For having the guts to act. I squandered 23 years with a man who didn't appreciate me. Without you revealing all, I might have wasted 23 more that I shoulder-held my phone while fixing a broken deck plank on my back porch. How are you? My best in years. She chuckled but meant it. I was brilliant at masking my sadness behind all that social arranging. My lawyer, David, listens to me and the real estate business is growing. Victoria, you deserve better. Amelia learned the hard way. But we all did. I watched Lucas pitch against the shed wall on the back porch after hanging up. Although his form improved, he still dropped his shoulder on the follow-through. Our evening project was treehouse railings. Lucas was adept at drilling, so his measurements were usually correct. Dad, may I inquire? Will Mom ever be normal again? I pondered it while threading a bolt through railing brackets. Your mom is probably trying to figure out who she wants to be now that she can't pretend to be someone else. Sounds complicated. Yes, indeed. Growing up is hard even as an adult. He supported the bracket while I tightened the bolt. I appreciate your simplicity. I'm complicated. Buddy. I aim to avoid complications for you. Why did you take all those pictures instead of yelling at Mom? Smart youngster. Yelling might have felt fantastic for 5 minutes but wouldn't have helped. Planning and documenting fixed everything and shamed the bad folks. Natural consequences shamed the evil guys. Just made sure the consequences happened. June saw Lucas's 11th birthday and our treehouse's completion. We painted it forest green to match the oak tree's canopy, and Lucas hung battery-powered lanterns for evening reading. The birthday party was tiny but memorable. 6 schoolmates, pizza from his favorite establishment, and a new treehouse sleepover. I watched them fight about baseball statistics and tell ghost stories from the kitchen window. Lucas graciously declined Amelia's party invitation. He told her during their phone call that it would make my pals feel uneasy, but we can have dinner alone next weekend. Though she grieved, she accepted his decision. After Lucas's buddies left, we cleaned the yard the next morning. He now handled cleanup like he did building projects, systematically and meticulously. After we collected the remaining paper plates, he said, "Dad, I want to show you something in the treehouse." We used the rope ladder he insisted on in lieu of steps. Built-in shelving for his books and toys, cushions for reclining, and 3-wall windows made the room unexpectedly spacious. Lucas held a little wood carving knife I gave him for Christmas and pointed to a windowsill. Working on this, Lucas and Dad's place was carefully block-lettered into the wood. "I wanted something permanent here," he remarked. To show our ownership, I felt the knife cut would grain roughness as I touched the carved lettering. "It's great, buddy." Our backyard was visible through the treehouse windows as we sat quietly. 3 years later, my deck was silver gray. Lucas and I had a healthy vegetable garden in Amelia's abandoned garden. "Will we always live here?" Lucas asks. "Duration is your choice. This is home." His little body fit wonderfully in my arm crook as he snuggled against my shoulder. I like our life now. I saw the park where the picnic happened via the treehouse window. The pavilion hosted a graduation party. Families gathered at red tablecloth tables. Different families, festivities, secrets, lies, and truths to learn. The world looked tranquil and distant from our treehouse, like issues from other life. Lucas read his dragon and magical kingdom fantasy books in his corner. I took out my biography of a craftsman who made unique furniture for great writers. Light and shadow changed across the treehouse floor as the afternoon sun filtered through oak leaves. The serenity that follows a storm and the clearing of debris was accompanied by the sound of a lawnmower and children playing in a neighbor's pool. I started reading with my son in the treehouse, safe and secure.